This week on Supercars Torque, Triple8 goes Daneless for the first time in its history. I chat with my Super2 friends again, and strange things happened. There's racing already this weekend. The big news this week is that Donald Trump has been shot. Let's not get into it too much, but I look at our politicians and laugh, and then this whole... oh my God, it is ridiculous. Anyway, the big news this week seems that Thomas Randall went over to the UK for a wedding during this very brief break. And he's also spent some time with training guru Rob Wilson. So expect an uptake in his fortunes this weekend. I'm pretty sure the last time he went over and did a bit of training with Rob, we did see him make a step up. And he's been going from strength to strength recently. So that first win can't be far away. The actual big news this week, though, is that it's been confirmed that Jess Dane has sold her 30% stake in Triple8 Race Engineering. This was the stake that she purchased from her father many years ago now. And because she's spending so much time in the US, has her job over there, her boyfriend and everything, she couldn't spend any time with the race team, so she's offloaded it. Steve Blackmore and Earl Evans are the people who have taken that stake, assumingly 15% each. They're the guys that own or run Southern Cross Truck Rentals and Shaw and Partners. You probably remember those names being on the Brody Kostecki and Will Brown Erebus cars from the last few years. And they did sponsor Will Brown's NASCAR effort this year, and apparently that's when the talks started and got going. And now Triple8 is Daneless for the first time in its career. Well, Roland still has a position on the board, but no Danes in the ownership group. Tony Quinn and, of course, Jamie Whincup are the other owners. Of course, people now are speculating, does this mean that Brody Kostecki's going to end up in a Triple8 car? Well, probably not. They have two contracted drivers. Contracts don't mean anything these days. But then also people have been talking about the third car or something like that. Well, unfortunately, now that we have this Noah's Ark 2x2 kind of system in place, it's not as easy just to run a third car. They can't get the license back off Supercars, I wouldn't imagine, for that third car after all the hoopla. Maybe if they were committing to two cars, maybe there's a possibility that they could convince Brad Jones to go back to two cars, or, maybe having a chat with Pete Smith and getting his license into Triple8 with taking one of the Brad Jones licenses, or maybe even borrowing it, leasing it out, something like that. I'd imagine that it isn't a thing of going from two cars to three. It's probably more going from two cars to four. So Personally, I can't see it happening, but it would be very exciting. Imagine Brody jumping in there, battling Will Brown once again in the best equipment out there. It's a bit of a pipe dream, but it's something nice to dream about, really. Now, we have a very short break between rounds, so this means I won't be doing my mid-season report card. That will come after the SMP round this weekend, so keep your eyes out for that. I thought with it being so close between rounds, I didn't have enough time to spend on it properly, so it will be a bit after mid-season report card, but we have got we've got a couple of gaps to fill between now, Tasmania, and then Sandown as well, so that'll be a good filler in. Anyway, this weekend, yes, we have got racing at Sydney Motorsport Park, formerly known as Eastern Creek. Again, bit of a different schedule this weekend, so I've got times in here. Friday at 5 p.m. there will be a 90-minute practice session. Everyone seems to think that these 90-minute practice sessions are no good. good. But I might be able to watch it on TV with it being late on a Friday. It might be a bit easier for people to tune in on that one. Then Saturday, 2:50 in the afternoon, we have 15 minutes qualifying. At 4:45, there is a top 10 shootout. Another top 10 shootout. 7:35, there will be 51 laps of racing. Now, Sunday, it is the same schedule, but at different times. 12:05 in the afternoon, qualifying for 15 minutes. 1:40 will be the top 10 shootout. And then at 4:05, we have the same 51 laps of racing. So, rinse and repeat. Hopefully, though, this weekend, because you have got a night race and then a day race, there's a little bit of a difference there. And with it being a high deg track, maybe they'll chew the tyres out a bit more during the day. Of course, weather at the moment could play a big factor. I mean, just in Melbourne today, we've had about 5 seasons in one day, so anything can happen. I'm not actually sure which tyres they're on this weekend. That seems to be playing a bigger role in anything at the moment, whether you can get those tyres switched on and working, especially in qualifying, because it is turning very much into a qualifying category once again. Last year, Brodie and Shane took a win each. Chaz and Jaime took the second places, and Brown and Di Pasquale took the thirds. Of course, famously, that Brown's third position was after Shane punched him off, and Brown just gave him the position and let him go and waited for him to get the penalty afterwards. So go out on a limb, Triple 8 guys are going to be at the front somewhere and probably challenged by Waters. Of course, we're going to have Randall up the front, and then Chas Mostert, Matt Payne. I hope he kicks goals again and puts in a great battle there at the front too. Now, as I promised last week, I've got my Super 2 review from Townsville, where once again I'm chatting with Campbell, Logan and Brad Vaughan about their weekends. It was a mixed weekend for the boys, which was a bit interesting to chat to them about that. We did see Jack Perkins come from retirement, teasing him a little bit there. It was an excellent display from Jack on the Saturday, where he went and won, and then Sunday he was just on the podium, but that gave him the overall because Kai Allen had a very ordinary Saturday, very unlike him. He did come out and blitz Sunday once again though. Normal programming resumed. As I said, the boys had an up and down weekend, but they did show lots of speed, and of course Brad Vaughan has been announced for the co-drive there in the wild card with Matt Charter at Bathurst. So here they are. Enjoy my interviews. And welcome back to the show, Brad Vaughan. Talk about the interesting weekend you had there at Townsville. Once again, a lot of qualifying speed, but race results a little bit lacking.
Yeah, probably one of the worst weekends I've had in my career so far, through no fault of my own, unfortunately. Just caught up in 2 incidents in 2 days, which resulted in a DNF and a 17th, I think it was. Yeah.
I'd have to admit, I missed qualifying on Saturday morning, and then I got quite excited when I saw the start of the race, and you were right up the front there, and, Jack Perkins and Kai Allen was down the back, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. And I'd have to admit, so going into turn 2, side by side with Cooper Murray, took a deep breath, and, and then it was over.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The corner goes, the track narrows up a lot there. You go through that kink, and we're both sort of racing for the same spot on the racetrack. Who was right or wrong? I'll not going to get into that. Just unfortunate, really, because the qualifying pace. We're probably the most consistent qualifier of anyone when you look at Kai, who's quite up and down. Just for whatever ladder I've walked under or black cat I've hit, I don't know.
I suppose the big thing is that the qualifying speed is there. So speed isn't a problem. It's just, I suppose, getting away from the Super 2 incidents.
Yeah, exactly right. You can't buy speed, so it's the pace is there. It's we qualified on the second row basically for both races, so to not come away with a result really sucks.
We've still got half a year of racing to go for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a championship's probably not going to happen now. It's definitely not going to happen. But
Yep.
we can there's still 6 races, as you said, only halfway, so plenty of times to stand on the podium and hopefully the top step.
Yeah. And I suppose the good news of the weekend, you got to announce you'll be doing 2 extra races this year.
Yeah, it'll be a very busy Sandown and Bathurst for me with the Super2 as well. So doing the wild card with Matt Charters, pretty cool. It's something you always dream of doing, is the Bathurst 1000. That's what what I've wanted to race ever since I can remember. So to tick that off this year will be pretty cool.
And at least now we're back to where you get the Sandown 500 beforehand as well. So you at least get that warm up to get, I suppose, used to the car and things like that as well.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 events is good. Plenty of Ks, that's 1,500 Ks of racing over the space of a month. Plenty of laps with the Super2 as well, with testing. It's and just to make your main game debut is pretty special. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, very, very excited for you. So do you get some extra test days with that, don't you?
Yes, we got 2 test days as a wild card. We're allowed. We'll do both of them before Sandown in August. So should be good.
Whereabouts do you get to do that testing?
At this stage, we're going to go to QR for the sake of it's a Triple8 car. So we want to have the most help from Triple8 as we can, and if we can do it in their backyard, really, that's going to be beneficial for us.
At least you can go and enjoy some warmth and somewhere different to Winton.
Yeah, exactly. There's only so many laps you can do around Winton before you go insane. So it'd be nice to go somewhere else.
Yeah, probably one of the first people to ever say that you're excited about going to QR.
Yeah, exactly. I went to QR last year for the first time since it's been upgraded, and I thought it was pretty good. So I've actually never done a lap around QR in my life in anything. So see how it goes.
That's it's very exciting that we'll get to see you line up in the main enduros and make a main game debut. So we can at least focus on the positives at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be the 2 biggest weekends of my racing career, of my life, really. Physically, the amount of media extra you get, the amount of extra attention you get from being in supercars, juggling the 2 classes because they are 2 different cars. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's just can't wait to get into it, really. Just
on the 2 different cars, was there any concern that it is a Triple8 car and you're currently with Tickford?
No, there's no concern. Okay. In the end of the day, if Tickford don't have a co-driver available for me, then it's in their best interest to let me go somewhere else and find something. At the end of the day, I'm not driving for Triple8, so it's just a Triple8 car. It's the same car that won the Sandown 500 last year. So, although I'm sure we won't be going for a win, it's definitely a good car to be in.
Oh, come on.
I think a realistic expectation would be top half of the field. That's for both events, Sandown and Bathurst.
Yeah. Well, judging off the previous experience, the Charters did quite well in their previous wildcard at Bathurst.
Yeah, they were run for a top 10 the last time they did it with Robotham. So, and they had an issue in the pit stop, I believe, with the calipers. So, they'll look to we've got all the ingredients. Triple8 car, a lot of Triple8 support, and Charters running it as a family. So it's all pretty cool.
Which you guys get to share the boom with the Triple8, the Craig Lowndes car as well, don't you?
Yes, correct. So we'll have some Triple8 crew on our pit stops as well, which is good. Looking forward to it.
Well, we'll have you back just before Sandown to probably have a bit of a chat about how the testing went and a bit of a preview before that. But thanks for coming on again.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And once again, we got Campbell Logan back on the show to have a bit of a chat about Townsville, which a bit of an up and down weekend, but at least it finished on an up.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have many words to say about Saturday. It was pretty awesome to finally put a good qualifying together in P5, and then I got through turn 2 and then didn't make it to turn 3. So caught up in.
Yeah, and you took out friend of the show Brad Vaughan.
No, I didn't do anything to Brad Vaughan. If I'm honest, I didn't even really watch the replays on what happened. Like,
Yeah.
there was just there was nothing I could do. Like, I was tucked up right in behind my teammate Batesy, and then all of a sudden we're just stopping at a part of the track you don't really expect to stop at. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing. I don't really know who's at fault or even what happened, to be completely honest. I just know that it was really disappointing for me and my crew. But yeah, it was nice to bounce back on Sunday for sure.
Well, the way I saw it was someone tried to go side by side with Cooper Murray and paid the price.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really even seen the incident. I mean, whether it was avoidable or not, I have no idea, to be completely honest. But yeah, it was certainly annoying, to say the least.
But then Sunday bounced back with a really good qualifying and then really good race in the end.
Yeah, no, it was there was maybe a little bit more pressure on Sunday to back up the good quality that I had on Saturday, and it was, put it in P5 again. I was actually pretty nervous during the quali session on the new tyre run because I made a pretty big mistake at turn 3, which ended up costing me about a 10.5 or so, and my radio wasn't working for that second run. So I completed my good laps on the new tyre, and I saw that I was 0.3 slower than the previous day. And no radio. I was thinking like, oh God, like I've really messed this up. I've made a complete meal of it. But yeah, was super happy once I pulled into pit lane and they gave me the tablet and it said that I was P5. So that was a massive sigh of relief, to be honest. And then the race was pretty cool. I got to move up a spot to 4th because Brad had a penalty, but got a really good start and then settled into the race, looked after the tyre and brought it home in 4th. So very happy with that for sure.
Now, my only criticism, you were second going into turn 2 and left the door open for Batesy. Why'd you leave the door open for him?
Yeah, look, if it was anyone other than Batesy, I wouldn't leave the door open, that's for sure. And especially in the future rounds, I won't be. It was... At the end of the day, he's my teammate and he's fighting for the title this year against Kai. And Batesy is the guy that I want to see win this championship this year. And as soon as we hit the brakes, he showed his nose. And I just, like in my mirror, he showed his nose. I'm like, okay, it's your fight, bro. Like, up to you. You can do whatever you want with it. So, yeah. I didn't plan on getting passed by Perkins. That wasn't in the schedule. But, that was... I mean, when you're on the outside of the next corner, there's not a whole lot you can do at turn 3. But yeah, I was happy to let Zach go this time, to have a crack at Kai, which he did. It didn't pay off in the end, but he still got a really good result in second.
Yeah, and if you consider, I mean, really, you haven't had the best starts of the year, and this is your debut season. So to only have those guys in front of you at this point, not doing a bad job.
Yeah, no, very happy. Like, it's more just nice to put a good result down. Finally, put my qualifying together, because we've always sort of known that if I can qualify well, I'm going to be able to race there. I've always, in testing, had a really good strength of looking after the tyre and good tyre management and consistency throughout a stint. So yeah, the main thing for us is just to keep working on that qualifying. Like, I still have more to come within myself for sure. Like, as you said, it's my debut season. It's only my 3rd round. So there's still a lot more to come within my driving, and we know where to find the time in the certain areas we need to improve on. So yeah, I'm just excited to keep working with the team. They've been amazing for me so far and put a lot of effort in, and it's nice to see that we're getting a reward for it finally.
Yeah, and I suppose part of the key with that on Sunday too, like, you didn't have the experience from Saturday not getting a lap in. So to actually manage the tyres and everything was a really good job.
Yeah, thank you. I was pretty happy with how I looked after the tyre, to be honest. Especially considering I didn't do Saturday's race, so I had no real experience. And Townsville is the worst circuit on the Super2 calendar for tyre deck by far. It surprised me quite a lot, like how bad it was. Like at the start, the front 3 they were pushing really hard, and I thought, I could go with them, but I'm not going to. My tyres I didn't think they were going to last that long. And I think the gap got out to about 4.5 seconds to Perkins in front. And then, by the end of the race, I was within a second. And it was also by the end of the race, when you get to a second and you get that dirty air, there's not a whole lot you can do when your tyres are already so hot. So, I was very happy with how I managed the tyre, to be honest. Especially after not doing Saturday's race. I was pretty happy.
Yeah, which I'm trying to remember, there wasn't a safety car in No race, was there?
No, thank God. So that was the also funny thing is it's my first full 40-minute distance race run. So even in testing, I've had a few issues on my race runs and haven't been able to fully complete them. So yeah, that was a real nice tick in the box to be able to do a full 40 minutes and know that I can get to the other side of it and know how to look after the tire. That was something we've been working really hard on, and yeah, it shows.
Well, it's great to see that there's definite improvements there, and the second half of the season, I suppose, is looking better for you as well, as they were all rounds where you did in the 86s last year as well. So
nearly. We didn't do Adelaide. Will still be a new track for me, but
okay, because they do surface, don't they, and not Adelaide.
They do now in the 86s, but we did last year. We went to Tail and Bend instead.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but no, definitely excited to head back to Sandown. That's my favorite track by far. I really enjoy it. So yeah, really excited to drive a supercar around there. To be honest, that'll be cool. And then back to Bathurst, which will be a lot nicer than the first round this year. So nice to have a little bit of experience around there, albeit I only had a test day under my belt, so I didn't really feel that confident going in. Yeah, it'd be really nice to roll back there, and then I'm super keen for Adelaide. It's such a cool circuit. Every time I've watched it or driven it on the simulator, it's just so full on. I love it. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool to finish the year off there.
Oh, lots to look forward to for the rest of the year.
100%.
Well, we'll have a chat to you before Sandown, but thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it, Dave.
Once again, a massive thanks to Campbell, Logan and Brad Vaughan for their time with chatting with me. It's, they do take time out of their days for that. The Supercars Torque is definitely not paying or anything for this. It is a favour for me from those guys. Now, down in the comments, let me know your predictions for this weekend of racing. As I said, it's really going to be depending on who switches on those tyres. I think it's just going to be a battle from the normal guys up the front. And also, V8 Sleuth this week had an article about essentially having a chase system for the supercars. What do you guys think about that? And should I do a bit of a deeper dive on it, maybe do a special video on it? What do you reckon? Because I actually don't like the idea, but I think maybe I might come around with doing a bit more investigation on it. But anyway, until next time, I'm still Dave, and I'll catch you later.